Hello, everyone. It is episode 91 of the Dante Elephante podcast with BabyJake. This episode is from Treefort last year, 2023. Oh boy, full year ago. Talked with BabyJake, who some of you may have saw us on tour together. We played 4 shows in Texas together. Really cool experience, really cool dude. Dante Elephante is on tour. Let's get into the dates. We're going to be July 2nd. We're going to be at Pappy and Harriet's opening for Joe Hertler. Joe will be on the podcast next week. And then we're in Chicago, July 11th, starting July 11th. Chicago, Detroit, Lakewood, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New York, Allston, Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., did I say Philadelphia? Washington, D.C., Carborro, Atlanta, Georgia, Orlando, Florida, Miami, Tampa, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Austin, Oklahoma City, St. Louis, Cudahy, Wisconsin, Iowa City, Omaha, Nebraska, Denver, Colorado, Salt Lake City, Boise, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, Santa Ana, Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix, Arizona. I think I'm missing one because my website isn't 100% up to date, but it's as close as we're going to get. Tickets are available now at DanteElephante.com, and I appreciate it. I'm sitting again in my kitchen table thing with the good light. Get that natural light in here so I look better. But yeah, this episode is with BabyJake at Treefort last year, and he was just getting out of his major label deal, and he talked a little bit about that. And every album he was kind of promoting said, this is going to come out, and then this is going to come out. It's already out, so you can go listen to all those things now. BabyJake is on Spotify, of course. He's everywhere. He's such a smart businessman. So I love talking to people like this who have he's so aware and so in tune and so involved in his own business that he's down to talk the music biz. So I think that's a good episode. And then he's just entertaining, fun guy to talk to. Okay, obviously Cigarettes on Patios in 2019, big single for BabyJake. The Sun Wakes Up Earlier Now 2021, that's a great album. That's what we were kind of touring, promoting, was that. Are We Ever Gonna Be More Than Friends 2023, that's kind of what he was talking about. That's the album he is referring to on a lot of this podcast. And then Rude, Crude, and Uncouth is the other, I think this is the acoustic album he's referring to on this episode too. So everything's out, so go ahead and listen to it if you get a chance. And yeah, this is a great episode. Last week I said I don't really have a lot to say, but I have had 2 emails. Shout out to anyone who sends emails to the band account, and so I'll read one. I'll read a couple today. This one's from Drew Milton. He says, come back to Chattanooga, I'll fund all the beer, let's jam. Okay, Drew, I haven't responded back to your email, but I will today. And yeah, I'll try to make it back to Chattanooga. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I think I will. And here's another email. Stephen Kerr. Hiya, Ruben. I just wanted to reach out and say hello and thanks for the podcast. I hope this is the right email to send to. I've enjoyed ever since Chris Cohen, who I'm also a big fan of. Steve. Thanks for supporting the pod. Thanks for listening. I'll respond back to your email today and let you know I gave you a shout out on this week's episode. But yeah, that Chris Cohen episode, man, that's the one that always gets brought up, you know? I think Rado has probably the most views, but maybe Chris had the most impact. I don't know. We love Chris Cohen. But yeah, BabyJake, this week, Dante Elephante is on tour. I'm getting some new merch made right now. I'm about to place the order. And got some new shirts, got some vinyl. And yeah, now I'm really done. Talk soon. 2 other mics. We are already rolling. Prep for this.
We're rolling.
Rolling.
These chairs are nice.
These are nice, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
How are you?
I've been good, man. How are you?
Are you? So you're not performing?
No, I'm just doing this. I performed last year.
Oh yeah, you told me that. You texted me that. So
yeah.
You've been doing this since what? Wednesday?
We've been here since Wednesday.
How's it been?
It's been all right. Yeah, we didn't do any interviews on Wednesday or Thursday, but today was the first day of interviews, so I did 2 earlier. This is my 3rd one. I got 4 tomorrow and.
Racking them up.
Yeah.
Is there anybody you're excited for that plays tonight? We're kind of
oh, okay.
Seeing if we want to go see anybody maybe.
Vicky Farewell is playing at 10 o'clock at this place called The Old School. I've never been there, but she's great. She's on DeMarco's label, and I love her. I love her
I'm
record.
into that. We should go see her.
Yeah, she's great.
Sure.
Tropa Magica's playing they're my buddies from LA. They're playing at 12:30, and that's more like cumbia psych, which is really interesting.
I love cumbia.
Yeah, totally. And they're playing like at midnight, I think, or something like that. So there's music all the way till 2 a.m. It's really ramping up. The first Wednesday was like, okay, it's pretty chill. Thursday I was like, okay, there's a couple more things going on. Now it's like really ramping up.
Yeah, we're kind of like walking around and just thinking like this is a crazy festival.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's saying lock picking like courses downstairs and stuff. Like I'm like, what's at the Hackford stage? He's like lock picking. I was just like, what? It's crazy. It's so crazy that you have like lock picking, and then he said comedy and like all these other things that are just like LAN, like some gaming thing going down there. It's so cool that they're doing stuff like that.
There's a French fry competition like tomorrow
so cool.
from 1 to 6. Who can
out
make
of
the
all
best
places, who would have thunk it?
Idaho, man.
Boise, Idaho.
Boise.
That's how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah, it's like a soft S or C or something.
Yeah.
Have any of you been to Boise before?
No.
This is our
First time?
first time for sure.
Yeah, I've never been.
Really? Yeah, no. Man.
I've never even been to Idaho before.
Really?
Maybe we drove through on the last tour, but I don't think that I've been to Idaho.
Dude, it's a trip, man. First time I played Boise in 2015, I didn't know what to expect, and then I fell in love with it, and then a bunch of other Californians also fell in love with it, and now it's like twice the cost of living here than when I first arrived. Yeah, it's booming. There's just like so many hotels are being built.
Yeah.
There's so much development happening here. It's crazy.
We're staying at this Airbnb, and literally right across the street is a hike that we did when we first got in, like 6 p.m. today or something. And we're just like, how crazy is this? Staying at this Airbnb 3 houses away is a hike. We're hiking up this hill. Look, there's snowy mountains in the background. I'm just like, the air is fresh.
I'm ready to move.
I'm almost passing out.
Dude, I know.
Just from the elevation.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are new guys. You haven't met them before. So me and Dante Elephante here.
That's all right. Yeah, that's okay.
Me and Ruben.
Stage names.
Stage name. Me and Ruben played together in Texas. Right? It was Texas.
Yeah, we did Austin, and then we did Dallas.
Maybe.
And Fort Worth, which I thought were the same thing or not the same thing.
Yeah.
When was it? That's cool.
Last year, I think.
Yeah, maybe 6-8 months ago.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Man,
which was really fun.
Was that long ago?
It was my first time back in Texas since like the lockdown and all that, so I didn't know what to expect, but it was fun.
He was killing it. I remember he. In Austin, we played the Spider House, I think, Spider Room. Yeah. And they have like these games on the side, like these old Pac-Man games, and he's just singing. And like at one point he's singing his song, and he just takes the microphone, he's dancing in front of the stage, he's got no shoes on, barefoot, dancing in front of the stage, and then he just walks over to the game,
Blitz.
And he starts playing playing Blitz. He's singing and playing it and not paying attention to the crowd. And then I was like, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. And then at the end of it, he just lays down like this on the stage. And I was just like, is the dude dead? I was like, is so cool.
That happens a lot at shows. Like I've had like sound guys come up to me, hey, dude, are you okay? You're like,
he's like,
no,
dude,
I fall. I know how to fall.
That's so fun. But yeah, it was amazing.
It was awesome. It was great. Yeah, it was fun. It was great to like meet you and play with you and I don't know.
Share the space,
man.
Share music.
Yeah, totally.
Share the intimacy that music is, I guess, How
have things been for you since
Amazing.
That? Yeah?
So since then, I got out of my record deal.
Okay. I remember you mentioning that, but you're like, I can't talk a lot about it.
I'm independent.
Okay.
At least on the master, like record label side. On publishing songwriting, I'm still signed as a writer, but we might be getting out of that too.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm on the second single of my album that's going to come out in July. Came out yesterday or today.
That's it.
Yeah, today. Is it Friday? Technically today.
Okay.
The days blend. But yeah, it came out today. It's doing great.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful to be able to release music on my own timeline.
Right.
And
when you want to.
Yeah, and just have an amazing team around me and be blessed with people that support and care and want to help and are the reason why I'm here right now.
Totally.
Performing at this and thankful for these guys too being here with me. So I think everything's going much better than probably last time you saw me because I hadn't dropped music in a year and a half.
And there was no end in sight either.
Yeah,
it's like, when's the record coming out? I don't know.
Yeah, that was the worry, man. Is that like you start this industry, especially with how people absorb like content nowadays,
Yeah.
you've got to keep the snowball rolling.
Yeah.
The moment that the momentum stops, the moment that your name's not in a blog or in a playlist or in something, you almost lose this fire. And then to rebuild it, and also, I mean, you already knew this from hearing me live and stuff, but I just jumped genres completely. I jumped ship. I went from pop, urban pop, alternative pop to straight up like 70s tape rock and roll.
Right.
So that's already scary to do, but also to do it with like no legs, what I mean, essentially. But it's going great. I can't complain.
Yeah.
I know the numbers are smaller than what they were being signed to a label and doing pop music, but I knew that entering in. And honestly, I'm happy with where the numbers are now. I just obviously want them to get bigger.
Of course,
and obviously I want to tour the record and just tour new music and stuff.
And that's going to happen. The more you put out stuff, like people are going to catch on and you're going to get new listeners.
Exactly.
It's all about getting the new listeners, like, because people are so focused on, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that it's important to try and get new listeners, but it's also important to feed your current fan base too. And I think that's what you're doing. I think people who loved your last record will like the new stuff because there was some rock moments on that record.
Yeah, there's crossover. And like also I think
it's not like too crazy.
Yeah.
It's manageable.
And nowadays, if you guys I think maybe will agree with this, it's people are connected to the vocalist more than anything, or the voice, or the emotion that you're bringing, rather than the genre. People don't listen. Like, I don't know many friends anymore, besides maybe myself because I'm an old soul. But a lot of my friends, they listen based on mood. Right. They're not listening based on, this is my favorite genre, I'm going to put this on every day. Yeah. Only us obsessive creatives and artists kind of do that because we get obsessed with something for a second. And we're like, I never dove into Jimi Hendrix. Let me just listen to him for the next 6 weeks, and get obsessed. And then you get bored and then you're like, I'm onto something else. Totally. But I think most people listen based off of mood, and it's not so much genre driven anymore. So I think it allows a lot of space, especially in the digital realm, to have that crossover and retain some of your fan base. So I think that's happening. I mean, the social engagement that I'm getting on it is better than what I was getting before. Are just stoked. So now it's just about, okay, let's see where we can fit this in. Approaching a genre that's not really big right now, but growing, and see how we can blow it out of the water. Right, guitar based rock and roll with 70s just feel. Organic stuff, live. It's organic. Like, and you see those bands that have been doing it that do it well. Like how do you pronounce Krungbin? Oh, Krungbin. Yeah. They blew up in the last 4 or 5 years. Right, it's mostly instrumentals. But they've been doing it for a while, man. Like they were building and building and building. It's not like these people just pop out of the. I remember Co Wetzel, who's like or Wetzel, whatever. He's like a country guy, and I remember him talking about it. Like he's like, people just think that I just came out of nowhere. Right. Like we've been touring for 10 years. The first tour we did was in my bass player's mom's Prius. Yeah. Like we're shoving the drums in the back trying to get it to work. Yeah. So I think it's just like one of those things. When you're in pop, I think it can blow up much quicker. Right. When you're in like something that's more organic and has a lot of live instrumentation to it, sometimes you got to build it up. And that honestly works better. Yeah. Because then you see Krungbin, like going to a festival and playing in front of 20,000 people. Right. Even though you go look at their socials or their Spotify and they're not like 20 million monthly listeners. Right. The 5 million that they have, or the 3 million, or the 2 million, or whatever, even the 500,000 are worth so much more. Right. Because those people are going out and supporting, And I think that's what it's all about, man. Yeah, man, I 100% agree. And it's definitely a different vibe when you're coming from the label world that can pull all the levers. Yeah. And that's like something I'm learning in this current job I have. I haven't really talked about this new job I have, but learning that side of it, and how many levers there are to be pulled. And I was like, oh, okay. So, and I was just talking about this earlier, is that the whole Spotify game, the whole algorithm game, it's like a lottery. And the only way you get people to play the lottery is if they believe they can win it. In reality, a lot of it's fucking rigged. 100%. Yeah. I mean, especially with majors. Yes. Especially with things that need to happen for both parties associated to make money. Yes. To make money. It's a business. Music, we started making music because we love it. But now you throw the monetary part into it and it becomes this animal, this beast that, of course, when you think about it from an outside, when you take a step back and you think about it from an outside perspective, it makes sense. Yeah. I understand why DSPs and blogs and even I guess like, let's just say the digital realm,
Right.
support major labels, because a lot of those artists, if they're not around and they're not getting pushed, these companies make less money, because more streams for them is just as good as more streams for the label.
Absolutely.
So I think, but sometimes you can win the lottery.
Sometimes you can. There are, and I think
it happens.
That's why I push TikTok so much, is because like, dude, you could, anyone can have a video pop
100%,
and you don't have to like.
I'm trying to get better at it right now.
No, dude, you do so great though. You post all the time. And
I was. Now I'm slowing down, but I'm slowing down because of the same thing.
Right.
You don't see. You post a song, people are hyped. You see this crazy engagement. I mean, maybe not even crazy. Probably. Well, let's say 5,000 views, 600 likes, 100 comments, saves, and you're just like, oh, this is awesome. And then you post again, and it's still good. And then you post again, and it goes a little further down. And then you post again, and then by the time you post a week later, you might have 300 views.
Right.
And you get discouraged.
Yeah.
Me especially, and a lot of other artists. And you stop thinking about, with 300 views, I can hit 1 or 2 people. And you start thinking, if I'm not getting 3,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever it is.
Like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Which is not the case.
No.
Most of these guys that are really succeeding at it are just consistent.
Yeah.
And they're good.
Yeah.
You have to be good. I mean, you're not going to win the lottery if you're not in the right casino, I guess.
Totally. And I've read...
Bad analogy.
And listen, I have read BabyJake's comment section. It's mostly people being like, where's the fucking song? And I've been in your comment section being like, dude, we've heard this clip a million times. I need the fucking track now.
I know, yeah.
But this is why I'm happy you're in the position you are now, because you said July, we're getting it.
Yeah, July. I mean, I'm going to drop...
Who Shot You Down? All the hits.
Who Shot You Down is on... So I recorded a whole nother album.
Okay, all right.
But that's coming out too. It's going to come out. I'm just working out... That album is a little difficult because when I was making it, I was expecting a budget from the major. So there's money tied up in it, and I can't release it unless I get the money. Well, I could, but I just want to pay these people what they're worth.
Right.
I don't want to. One of my best friends, Danny, who you met, produced the whole thing with me, and I don't want to rip him off. Right. I don't want to. These are my friends. These are people I care about. I care about these musicians. I care about the mixer. I care about the master guy. I want them all to get paid fairly. So we're kind of discussing right now potentially doing a licensing deal with that one where an indie label comes in or even a major and puts up the money to do it, and we do a profit split or something, and they own the masters for a certain amount of time. Or maybe they don't. Who knows? Maybe the one in July comes out and it blows up, and then I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But it's not so easy to just pull $100K out of thin air.
Okay, so that one has some strings, a few strings.
It's still going to come out, and I'm still going to figure it out, and I've been talking to a lot of guys, but in the process, when everybody went and fucked off for November, December, and enjoyed the holidays, I just stayed in Nashville and worked.
Right.
And I recorded a whole nother album. So that album's coming in July, and then I have the other one on the back burner. So up until July, the next single is going to be early May, and then we're going to drop one in June, and then we have the album with 5 tracks, and then 6 tracks technically, but one of them's the push song of the album, the single of the album.
Is that's going to come out towards the end?
It's going to come out with the album.
With the release, okay, cool.
But it'll be 5 new songs and the 5th single, I guess you could say. Focus track.
That's amazing, man.
But I'm excited.
That's great. I'm excited for you, man. This is it's killer. You guys have obviously heard it. You're playing it.
They play it tomorrow night at 10:30. Yeah, we're playing all the singles pretty much.
That's awesome, man.
Maybe besides one, but yeah. I mean, I'm stoked. I think it's. I can't stress this enough. It's just like what we just talked about with TikTok. It's the same thing. It's a lottery. Yeah. You can win it. It's hard. It's definitely rigged in some senses.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, nobody's moving away from digital.
No.
Sure, sound-wise, maybe you're you got your artists that are messing around with analog sound and tape machines and want to get away from digital from a sound perspective. But no, you don't have these young kids going to school and being like, oh, I'm going to put my phone away. Yeah. That's not what's happening. There's more and more people that are accessing music in a digital realm. And that leads to a physical realm too. Believe it or not, there's more people that show up to shows. Yes. Shows are booming right now.
Yeah, shows are booming. Merch.
Merch is booming right now, and I think it's the same thing as TikTok. It's consistency. Yeah. If you're dropping good quality music, it's just a matter of time before something hits. Yeah. You cannot rely on editorial. You cannot rely on press. You just have to rely on trusting the algorithm, which is hard, and also just trusting yourself and saying, if I put this out and I put eventually enough good creative work out into the world.
Yeah.
That eventually will be respected. And like you said, it's a lottery. You might not.
Yeah.
But if you have the mentality and you're talented, I really struggle to see how if you put out 20 or 25 songs that not one of them does well.
Right.
It's hard to see anymore because you don't have to listen to a whole fucking vinyl.
Absolutely. One song can change your life. That's the advice someone gave me.
One TikTok can change your life.
One
Same
TikTok
thing.
can change your life. One song can change your life. Brandy, you're a fine girl.
Yeah.
You know, one song.
It's crazy.
And that dude's never had to work again in his life.
And I heard this guy, I forgot his name, but a couple of my buddies that are artists as well, they're like big on TikTok, you know? And they know these guys that are popping on TikTok and like really changed their whole career. And they're preaching now, they're like, look, it's cool to like tease the song beforehand, but it's not even as worth it as just letting the song come out and then just putting it, because then people don't have to click twice. Yeah. They got to click once.
Click once.
They got to click once. That's it. You know, it's out. Boom. Just click this. Click the link. That's it. And you don't have to click, then pre-save, then log in, then all. I mean, it's cool, but it's like these guys are saying from experience of us doing it, we noticed that it does better.
I'm personally done with the pre-saving.
I'm done with it.
I think the pre-saving's done.
I think it's done. I think the era is over. I think it was popping for a second, and now it's just like people are just like, all right.
Same thing with pre-sale. Well, no, pre-sale tickets is fine, but like announcing a show and I can't buy tickets immediately. I think that shit's fucking done too.
I fucking hate that.
We're announcing the show on Monday. Tickets go on sale on Friday. People fucking forgot.
Yeah,
they've already forgot by Friday.
Dude, this is not like people.
We know that initial post does well.
There's not a physical calendar on your wall anymore, and nobody's putting it in Google Calendar. My fucking Google Calendar, I forget to put shit in. I know, you know.
Yeah, so I think all that kind of stuff is dead to me too. It's just like, dude, just announce it now. If we're gonna say it now, get tickets now.
Festivals are the worst with it too, because they make you post it and then they're like, we're not gonna say what weekend. And then I'm like, okay, we just dealt with this. Like we're supposed to play what Summerfest, whatever it's called, Summerfest, like in August. And now it's like late July. I mean, late June.
Yeah,
like a month earlier, you know. And it's like fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
But good industry to be in. We love what we do. I mean, shit. I'm sure doctors are complaining about the same thing.
Oh, sure,
you know?
sure, yeah.
They got their own problems.
Every industry's got its issues.
I would rather be doing nothing else in the world. So.
Right. This is, I've been lucky enough to like wrap myself in to music, and it's taken me a while to get there. But like, I'm very happy to like, I do this, which is like still music, Dante, and then I work for Seymour Duncan still. And which is cool because that's just more on the product side, and seeing that world and how little that world is actually talking to artists like us. Like I'm going to NAMM like next month, which is like the big trade show
huge.
for. You don't see Mac DeMarco, you don't see BabyJake on. You see these bands. Who are these guitar players? They shred, but like, I just think that world could mesh a little bit more with our world.
100%.
And I think it's ridiculous that, I don't know, they don't take a chance on people. Like, I don't know what it is yet. I'm still trying to get to the fucking bottom of it.
Yeah.
I push all my friends to like our A&R guy. I was like, yo man, here, this guy shreds. Like, let's get him some pickups. Who do we need to send it to? Like, that's the kind of stuff I've been thinking about a lot. But music is fun, man.
It's fun, man. It should be fun. When you start overthinking it. Yeah, it should be. Exactly. When it's not, you got a problem.
Yes.
Because then it's no longer music. It's just business.
Oh yeah.
There's not music business. It's just fucking business.
Right.
And then you're sitting there and you're dreading doing things. You're dreading going to the studio. You're dreading cutting records. Right. You're dreading talking to your team because you're not happy. So that's another thing I had to deal with personally too, because I was like so scared jumping into like Republic Records and Scooter Braun and all these fucking like, you know, like people with the snap of their fingers can change your fucking life. You're scared to stick up for yourself or say something even when you feel uncomfortable, because you're like, what if I lose everything?
Right.
You know, that's your feeling. And it even happens to people on a much smaller scale. It's hard enough just to fucking, it's hard enough just to get out there and fucking sing your song. Mm-hmm. You know, like just to sing it and get to the point where you're confident singing, you know, like that's a step already in the beginning that's really difficult. But I think it's tough when it becomes like the monetary part of it takes over. Yeah. It needs to be about fun. It's everything that you do in your life. Totally. That you want to.
People read that too.
Yeah, people smell it, dude. Yeah. They smell it.
And they know.
Yeah, they can tell. They can smell that corporate rock. Yeah. From a mile away.
That's a suit. No, I'm not hating on suits. I think they have their place too. I just think for people like us that are creatives and that need to be fueled by this like fire, I think the moment that you lose it and you start to dread it, you should really reevaluate.
Right.
And just like, even if it feels like you're pulling fucking teeth, which it felt like for me, you know, I switched my whole team out.
Right.
Everybody, fucking lawyer, business manager, agent, management, dropped the label, about to hopefully drop the publishing side too. You know, not that I have a problem with them. I want to be free.
Yeah.
And I wanted to change everything, and I wanted to reevaluate, and like, it needs to start from, I can do this for you. It needs to start from, I really like your music.
Yeah. And I realized that when you make a good record and people want to work with you, you don't have to beg people to work with you. Sure. They will want to work with you.
And sacrifice.
And fucking, bust
and
their ass for you.
And then it's your job to show them respect for doing it, which I've also had my run-ins with.
Yeah. Oh, man. So what was that change? You know, you were doing urban pop, and now you're doing this rock and roll thing. What was that change for you? Was there a certain record that turned it on, or is this music that you grew up with? Like...
Yeah, I grew up with it. I mean, I grew up with everything because my mom's from Lithuania, so she listened to the 80s, you know, like her big thing was 80s and disco and 80s pop and George Michael and like all these people. And my dad's like 72 years old now. Okay. And you know, grew up in the 60s and 70s and like just classic rock to the max and like classic folk music. So I really grew up with it all. And also I was an athlete and stuff and listened to rap and hip hop and everything and pop music. But
that was like your journey, your own personal journey.
Yeah, totally. For me, younger in my life, until I was like, I mean, I listened to all the other stuff, but I was like, you know, huge into hip hop and pop music until I was 18. And still do like some of it. But I think the monumental moment for me that shifted, it was, I have that record 239. That's a you know, a rap song. Yeah. And we were rehearsing live for a gig. And they wanted me to do 239 for the Vivo's live, you know, Vivo Arts to Watch, whatever. This was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. And I was rehearsing, and I'm just like, this sounds so bad. Really? I was like, this just sounds like I've got a drummer. Yeah. He's using like maybe the hi-hat and the snare, but like a pad. He's not even using the, like maybe the kick. That rolling pad, like the rolling pad. And then I got this keyboardist, and like, I got this guitar player playing like paddy chord. I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this is just feels so... All
session dudes?
Yeah, and like
didn't even know them really?
Running tracks, like put together by management. Right. And like, to me, what the turning point was like, if I can't sing this live as good, if not better, than when it was in the studio, at least from an emotional standpoint, sure, you have off nights, your pitch is a little shaky, your whatever, your players are, your guitar player's sick, your drummer, you know, took too much LSD last night, whatever. Elements, But, you know, it's just that the fact that if you don't feel like you can perform it like you wrote it, I think you have a big issue. Yeah. And there's a lot of people like that. I think that's why a lot of live music lacks nowadays. Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you go to a festival like this where all these motherfuckers are all alternative, you know, artists. Let's just say alternative as a broad term. Right. But they use organic elements. Yep. Whether it's all of them or not, they start from that place. Right. And you're like, holy shit. Yeah. And then you start looking at yourself, and I'm like, God damn, like, I'm gonna go sing this shit, and I don't sound good. The one thing you can't fake is your voice. You can't fake. If you're a fucking like, oh, I'm not into this gig, like, you can sound lethargic and you can not be into it. Yeah. You can fake the guitar, like, you know. Totally. And whatever you gotta do in drums too, you can. We talked about it, like, they love playing Head in the Clouds. Yeah. And I fucking hate it. And I hate it because I didn't think when I was making the song, because it was very copy and pasted, and because we were cutting the vocals not in one take. Not like comping little words that we need to get better, but like piece by piece. Yeah. I don't have a fucking breath from the first verse to the end of the pre-hook. So I'm sitting here like, I'm going to pass out. By the end of the verse, I'm going to fucking pass out.
When
and
you actually had to do it in sequence.
If I don't choke it up, like, I'm going to fucking pass out, you know? So I'm sitting here and I'm just like, dude, I did not write these songs they were digital songs. Right. You know, and there's a balance with that. You need them to apply digitally and do well digitally, and in the streaming world. But like, you should be able to
physically perform.
Yeah, like, we're performing a new one, More Than Friends. That's like fucking. It sounds better when we perform it live than the recorded version. Now I'm looking at the recorded. That happens all the time. Now I'm looking at the recorded version and going, fuck, that shit changed it. You know, like this vocal needs to be stronger, and this guitar needs to be more live, and like, you know, you look back at it the opposite way, and you're like, oh, am I doing this too much? You know, because I think imperfections is what makes everything perfect. Totally. I guess.
Did you, before you recorded these songs, did you play them live first, or did you do it in the studio first, and then now we're bringing it to the stage?
Yeah, no, I haven't played them live yet.
Okay.
But like I was writing them all. The entire album is written by me on an acoustic guitar, electric guitar, piano, or a bass.
Yeah.
In my house, the whole song. You know, so I'm already practicing them in my own way.
Right.
So I feel much more comfortable. And the way I'm recording it now, which you probably don't know, is I'm recording it with a live drummer, a live guitar at one time. So we're
live.
Yeah, live
Nah,
in the
yeah,
studio. Like
live,
everything's
live.
isolated, but it's live. So the bones, the guitar, usually the
That
guitar,
natural bleed into the mics.
Yeah, I mean it's isolated, but it's still bleeding. It still bleeds.
That natural.
And so like the vocal, the guitar, the bass, and the drums are always done at the same time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have piano, and sometimes we have a lead player that's also in there.
Right.
Usually it's just like a 3-piece like that, or maybe a 4-piece, and that alone is just like, oh, if I can do this, then I can do it live.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that, and I hear it. I'm not saying some of these other records don't sound great. Like I play Cigarettes on Patios live, it sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
I hit every fucking note. I know the song, you know, like the back of my hand right now. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like not every song's like that. Totally. You know, like Head in the Clouds is one of those hard ones, man. It's always hard for me. It's always been hard for me. Always will be hard for me.
Yeah.
But you have to do them.
You have to do them.
People love them. What are you going to do? No?
The only way I mention that, I only mention that because it's like different stages, right? Like a song, you have the song, you could take it into the studio, or when you hit the stage, it just changes every single time.
Totally.
That's why I like to push the record. That's why people on my camp are mad at me, because they're like, "What's up, dude? Like, where's the music?" I'm like, I work the way I workshop them.
Yeah.
I have to play them live, and
I get that. Yeah. I mean, that's how they really did it back in the day. I mean, that's how all these guys.
Let me cut these songs, and then we'll record them.
Yeah.
You know? But I need to refine them. I need to chisel them. You know.
I get that. Yeah. I would love to do that, honestly.
That's why that
it takes longer.
Works in the studio, right?
Yeah. Totally.
You're able to feed off of each other on an instantaneous level, kind of bouncing back.
Totally.
It works. That's
yeah.
it works out.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing essentially, just in a room without people. Right. But it's even better when it's with people.
Yeah,
because you can judge them. You can be like,
you make a great point. It's like a check.
Yeah.
That song.
And then maybe a mistake happens, and you're like, "Wait, what was that?" "Oh, I don't know. I was just kind of fucking around." Yeah, but like that, and then that's a part now. I don't know.
That's the moments.
Those are those sweet little moments, and then sometimes you kind of miss it after. You're like, "Oh fuck, we already tracked." Like you were just saying, we already tracked the song. Shit.
I know, dude. Now I like listen back, and I'm just like, is this too produced? You know?
Oh.
But it's a tough thing. Not produced in the sense of like just too perfect.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's supposed to be perfect. But I'm trying to come with grips with that, not only like, especially vocally.
Right.
Because like I'm not using any tuning, not using any melodyne, not using anything. Right. But at the same time, I'm such a fucking prick about it. I'm like, I got to get it perfect, and I'm like, no, like you don't. You know, like most of my favorite singers are not perfect.
Right.
You know, like Mick Jagger is not fucking perfect.
Have you seen those videos where they like put melodyne to like those old songs?
Yeah.
And it's like there's fuck ups obviously everywhere.
Yeah.
They're sharp, they're flat everywhere, and then they do it. Or like there's that Rick Beato guy. He quantized John Bonham. And it sounds fucked up. It doesn't sound good. Like it straight up sounds bad. Like
it makes sense.
Yeah.
How are you gonna? You can't quantize swing.
No, exactly. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Well, you can't quantize. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
That's the thing, though. It's like back then, this technology wasn't there.
Yeah.
All you had was what you saw in your eyes and what you heard with your ears.
Yeah.
And that was the power. That was the magic of what rock and roll was.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
I'm not saying technology and where we've gone with music is bad, but just that raw and that energy, that oh my god, like what is this sound?
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why we're still talking about those bands from the 60s, the 70s, even the 50s.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why we still reference Chuck Berry and Elvis as like these soul creators. Like even the Beatles, when they went on Ed Sullivan, like you see that for the first time, you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is insane.
And what's crazy, I know that Ed Sullivan Beatles one was like the first one that they didn't play the tracks. And that's why it sounds like, I don't know, like a band, like, I don't know, it just sounds like a band. And that's what I liked about it so much, like, because it wasn't a track. Everything was so, even up to the 90s, they're still doing, there's a whole, like, Nirvana thing where, like, they're, like, banging their guitars with their shoe and shit, or Flea does that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, it's like, dude, we know this shit isn't plugged in. Like,
also, like, look at some of the best recordings ever done. Like, the Stones' Exile on Main Street over a factory in France.
Yeah.
You know, the Stones' Some Girl albums, fucking, the two speakers are 6 feet apart left and right. That's how they mix the album. Nirvana, they're in a room in a semicircle playing as loud as they can. There's bleed everywhere.
Totally.
Like, if you listen to some of these mixes, you're like, oh, whoa. This shouldn't work, but it does. You know?
All the Motown shit, too, just bleed. Like, they're all just bleeding.
Red Hot Chili Peppers did it, too, with Rick Rubin in the house. You know?
Crazy.
Like, and that was, what, Blood Sugar, Sex Magic? That album was incredible.
Yeah.
Whole album.
Oh, man. That's awesome. So, okay, let's get some introductions here. We kind of did hop into, what's your name?
Mitch.
Mitch, and what are you playing?
Drums.
Drums?
I'm Max, guitar player.
I'm Heather. I'm playing bass.
All right.
Secret weapon.
I love it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Do you all
Jake.
live in Nashville? Oh, yeah, Jake. And do you all live in Nashville as well?
Yeah.
Cool. What's the scene like in Nashville? I still have yet to ever play Nashville.
Fucking amazing.
Really?
It's wild.
Live scene can vary
when
you're playing, but the town is incredible right now, in my opinion. I'll let them speak on it. In my opinion, I think it's going to be the next, I think it already is, but I think it's really going to blow up as the next hub of alternative music.
Oh, really?
Because it's not just honky anymore. You know, it's like all these other cats are coming into town. Not only alternative pop cats, you know, R&B people, and they're all coming into town, and like, it's still affordable.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it's that fresh kind of generational wave of artistry that you had in LA at one point, right?
Right.
And you had in New York even further down the road. And there's a lot of different avenues that and people are eager to explore it. I mean, you see it on a daily basis on a Tuesday night.
There's bands. There's shows.
There are people, not only that, but people are going out and meeting, and trying to find people to work with, or to, I mean, anything on an artistic level. People are eager to do it there, and so it's inspiring, and then it gives you a nice little kick in the butt.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, I'm around the right kinds of people at the very least.
It's kind of like when Denver was booming.
Yeah.
Before weed got legalized. And then weed got legalized. No, seriously. And then weed got legalized, and all these cannabis companies went to Denver, and it just killed the scene because prices went through the roof.
Right.
Like, you can still live in Nashville for an affordable rate comparatively to LA or New York.
New York, yeah.
Like, I don't know another city that has that big of a music scene that you can go buy a house for $300K still.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
And not be like it's a decent house.
It's like
a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, and like, yeah, you might be 15 minutes outside the city, but whatever. Go live in LA,
minutes.
bro. You
oh
know,
my God.
Yeah. Or New York. Get out of here.
In Santa Barbara, there was a motorhome for $800,000 or $900,000 right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
Santa Barbara's fucking
Santa Barbara's on a different level.
Yeah.
But it's brutal right now in California. Yeah. We got lucky. Like, we're staying at a place. We were renting this place. It's like $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom, really small 1-bedroom. It's an apartment, but like, and we got that like when it was still like COVID prices, and now we're looking around like, oh no, we can't get anything for our price anymore.
Dude,
it's like $3,000 for a 1-bedroom right now.
That's what I'm saying. I have a hot 3-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in Nashville. I live 10 minutes from the city. It's $2,300 a month.
It's awesome.
$2,390. Yeah. I mean, I guess with utilities and stuff like 26, 27, but I don't even need this. I don't even need the house. Like, I'm trying to buy a house because I don't even need the fucking. I'm living alone in a 3-bedroom.
Are you tracking in the house?
I'm starting to. I should be more.
Right.
Is the truth. The honest truth is I should be more. I'm just like, I just have this guy go to his place, John, and it's just set up. It's so easy. And sometimes I'm like too critical of myself, but it's no excuse. I should be more. I want to do an acoustic record there, like 6-7 songs.
Yeah.
That I just do myself to get my like footing in the door, I guess, because I'm fully capable and I can do it. But
yeah, because you produce other stuff too.
Yeah, but it's fucking intimidating when you're doing yourself because you expect perfection.
Yeah.
And when somebody else is telling you it's good, it's different than yourself telling you, "Oh, it's good.
It could be
this
a little
is good
better.
enough."
It could be a little better.
Yeah, you're like listening to the
another take.
Yeah, and then I'm an hour and a half into fucking recording an acoustic guitar, and I'm just like, "Oh, this sounds robotic now." You know, you listen the next day, you're like, "Fuck, take one was the best."
Yeah.
It's like the Michael Jackson story when they go through like 90 mix. What was it like? Beat It, like 90 mixes.
Yeah.
They went with mix 2.
Yeah.
Or like 3 or something. It's crazy.
It's so true, man. I've been working on demos right now in my practice space and just kind of like, man, yeah. Overly critical of my playing. I'm like, I shouldn't even play on this. Let me just get somebody else. Like, you know, at that point, I'm just like, fuck this, dude. Like, it's just a demo, but in my head, I'm like, it needs to be perfect.
I know. It's so tough. It's like you I don't know. It's so much harder to let the mishaps just like slip away.
Right.
Whenever you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, no. Well, I'm in my house. I got a limited time. I'm gonna fucking, not a limited time, but like I got 6 hours.
Until I feel like knocking out.
Yeah. And then your fucking fingers don't work right. And you're tired.
Yeah.
And you just made every fucking excuse in the book at that point. You're just like, I'm going to bed. And then you wake up the next morning, you're like, this is dog shit. I should have just went with take one. Yeah. And by that time, I have a horrible habit of just going over take one or deleting take one. Because I'm like, dude, I do that shit all the time. I'm like, oh, no, I'm on to something better. I just fucking delete it.
Yeah.
I need to stop. I just need to go in there and record it the way I know how, which is like, let me just get a great take of me just doing it.
Let me feel good about this take.
And like not overly fucking critical. Yeah. Let the mistakes happen, which is so hard to do.
Totally.
But I should be recording more in there. I would like to record more in there.
Oh, totally.
Is my answer.
Especially I just think about like, man, I wish I could record drums in my apartment, and I'm like, oh, I can't. But and then we got this practice space, and then everyone else is so fucking loud. All the other bands are just so heavy and so loud. And I'm like, there's just so much. I can just hear them as I'm like mixing them out of my recordings right now. I'm like, that fucking band, god damn it.
Yeah.
That's happening to me.
Damn.
At the moment.
That's fucking crazy. But that might be magic.
It might be magic.
It might
just
be
that
magic.
Weird low end frequency from that. What's that weird low end coming from?
Yeah,
the bass drum.
it's tough, but it's it's amazing. Like you don't realize how much you have until you like I guess get away from it.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, I gotta get back and gotta do it. I've been itching to like start doing it, so I just need to fucking do it.
Totally.
Basically, is how I feel.
That's awesome. Okay, so then there's a record coming out in July. There's one record that's being held up. There's an acoustic record maybe, and then more tours. You're playing Lala? No, which
we're not playing. We're playing.
You played Lala last year.
Yeah, I would love to play it again, but
that festival's amazing.
It was fucking incredible, and we played 2 days. It was incredible.
That's it.
It was my favorite festival. Yeah, just the crowd was insane. Perfect set time. 5:30. The shaded stage, the BMI stage was like fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And just played a perfect set, even though half of my band was drunk off their asses. I was so worried, and we played a perfect set.
No, really? Yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing. But we're playing this festival, then we go home, then we play some college shows.
Cool.
And then we play Beach Life in Redondo.
Oh, cool.
Which will be awesome because I think the same day as us, like the Pixies, right? Pixies,
nice.
Maybe the Black Keys too, and I love both of them. Some more college shows. Then we're doing Wonder Road in Indianapolis. Weezer's the headliner, also dope.
That's also sick. Yeah.
Coin's there. They're friends of mine.
Cool.
Lovely. The band's there. They got like a #2 fucking alternative radio hit right now. And then Summerfest in Milwaukee is the last one.
I love Milwaukee.
Yeah. I never been, so I'm excited.
Big beer drinking town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, they drink a lot of beer there. I like it.
I feel like Boise.
Boise
is a big.
It's a big beer, steak and potatoes and
beer drinking town.
This is definitely a big beer drinking town.
Yeah, but hopefully, like, I think the idea is to do a full headline tour in 2024.
That's cool
because I want to give it a little time to breathe.
The new releases.
Yeah, and just like figure out other ways to push them and maybe do some other content and like we're talking to Tower Records right now who just launched their new office in New York and we want to do a live recording there and performance and stuff and just like I feel like there'll be little things like that that are just like cool to push it along and then in 2024 really like launch a headline.
Hit the road hard
or just hop on somebody's tour.
The support. You did a recent one with Fitz, right?
I didn't end up doing it. I pulled off. I really pulled off because the money I could either go on the tour and spend $40,000,
right, or
spend $20,000 and record a new album.
Yeah.
So
okay, so you didn't go.
I didn't go. Okay. I pulled off, I recorded the new album because I wanted to release music.
Right.
It was a hard decision, but it was like I couldn't do both.
Yeah.
I mean, as an opening slot like that, and you're going around playing 2,000, 3,000 caps, and like they were paying me good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what it was, but they were paying me good for what's considered an opening slot.
Sure.
I was still gonna like probably break even, barely. Like still eat it, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's hard, man.
I like the headline stuff. Like I think I could go to New York now and like maybe sell out like Irving Plaza or something.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome. You know, or like maybe
you sold out the Echo too, right? You played the Echo?
Yeah, we sold out the Echo. I think next time we're gonna try to do the Regent.
Yeah. That venue's sick.
I'm stoked about.
It's a great one.
And the Irving, or like what do they call it? Williamsburg Music House or something. You know, it's like a new one. Or Brooklyn Music House. It's like 700.
Oh yeah.
I think like the 500 to 1,000 range is really, really cool.
Those are really
And like I probably can't go to DC and like sell 500 or 600 tickets yet.
There's so many bands like that. Like,
but
there's so many bands where you're like, oh, that band's huge, and then you're like, I'm getting like, you know, I really can't say what job I'm working at right now because my other job doesn't know I'm doing it, but I'm working 2 jobs right now. But I'm seeing these ticket counts for bands. I'm like, oh, that band's big. And then I'm like, oh, they're actually not doing well in Indiana or like, you know, wherever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's just every band's like that. They have big markets and then they have small markets.
And
it's
like
all the same.
some of my markets are so random. Like Minneapolis is like my 3rd biggest city. Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Denver,
stuff like that.
Denver's awesome.
Denver's sick.
Fucking
they got
awesome, man.
Good music fans. Like, I love Denver.
Yeah, great food.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. Hopefully 2024, do a full tour.
That'd be awesome.
For like 2-3 months. Go out there, grind it, and then hopefully by that time I'm dropping
more.
Another album.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to be dropping like 2 albums a year.
Really?
Yeah. I just want to push. And I'm writing like a madman. So it's all coming. It's just like some of it doesn't fit with the other shit. So I got to like section it
Organize
off.
it.
Yeah. Like that's why I'm doing the acoustic project and probably just going to put that out there. Like,
yeah. Cause sometimes you write a song I like this song, but doesn't fit with these other 6.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, you
can't force it either.
No.
You got to let it come. Like I replaced that More Than Friends record that I'm talking about. It sounds great live. I literally added that to the album, replaced it with an acoustic song that was on the album that was more like a ballad.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this fits way better. I literally did it like 2 weeks ago, you know, and I knew we were on a deadline, but I was like, I just can't do this one.
Yeah.
You know,
and you can kind of tell when you're listening to all the songs and you're like, there's one here that sticks out. Like, you know, I've had that conversation with my band too. Like, there's 2 songs right now. We just listened to the record. Which ones stick out to you guys? And they're like, oh no, these fucking 2.
Yeah. Everybody knows.
They're my favorite songs, but they suck.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, and then you have to, you don't throw them away.
Right.
You know, you just like figure out a home for them.
Yeah.
Even whether it's not yourself, like you can also give them to somebody else or do a collaboration with somebody else or whatever. But I think right now for me, it's just like figuring out what fits in the order of it. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be so like, I think the acoustic thing that I'm going to do is just going to come in between.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just going to put it out there and be like, whatever it does, it does. Yeah. No push, no nothing. Just be like, here's the songs. Here's fucking 5 weeks to push them or whatever the distributor needs. And here, whatever they do, they do. Yeah. You know, whatever they don't, they're out there. And that's just another thing moving the snowball in the right direction and gathering snow, I guess.
I agree. The thing I'm looking at the most right now is the collaboration. I feel like the feature is so used in hip hop to cross promote.
Big time.
And we're not doing that in rock music.
So I wish we were more.
Yes,
it's sad because these big bands don't want to.
They don't want to? Is that why it's not happening?
In my experience, I'm not going to say names.
That's okay.
In my experience, I have talked to a couple people that I really respect that I would love to do songs with, and they're just like, I get it. It's like your band and you're an alternative, you know, group, and you want to be able to play these songs live, but I'm just like, dude, just sing the other dude's verse live, like if you need to. If you
I've seen other people do that.
Yeah, exactly. Especially rappers and hip hop artists.
They'll just do the verse.
Pop artists, but I hope it gets more into that, man.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool to do that.
I think it's great. I love that kind of stuff because it's just like, it's like a podcast or something where both of our fans will both listen to this and they'll find you, and then some of your fans will find the show, and then same thing with collaborations. Oh, who's this person? Oh, I like this song. Oh, what other songs do they have?
Yeah.
And it just cross-pollinates.
It's just so fucking difficult because we're all such assholes. You
Just
know,
trying to
everybody
like
in rock and indie and shit is just fucking.
Yeah.
We all got our own problems.
There's a lot. There's ego, but the ego's got to go away.
It's like the pop and the hip hop people are always just like, oh my god, it's so nice to meet you, and then they go home and they're like, fuck that dude, and then the rock people are just like, fuck that dude.
Yeah,
they're not like it's nice to meet
face.
you.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck you, man. You know, like that's kind of how it is. So. I feel like it's like there's pros and cons. I feel like it's gonna go that way though. It doesn't have an option. Like you have to.
Yeah.
So especially when the bigger people start doing it. I'm waiting for that, dude.
Yeah.
You know, fuck.
A Dave Grohl verse on a BabyJake song. That's what I'm looking for.
Or like I would love to see like I've been really into Parcels lately.
Oh yeah,
they're so good, man.
They're so good.
I would love to see like Parcels go with like maybe Tom Misch. And Tom Misch go with like somebody like you know Mac DeMarco and like these people that all fit in the same realm, and it's just like tough.
Yeah.
Because like, and a lot of these people are writing, and I get this because I'm a writer. Like I write all my stuff myself. A lot of it's really personal.
Yeah.
So that's where the crossover like kind of lies too. You listen to pop, and it's like very basic writing and very you know generalized, I guess, in a sense. Like a lot of indie or alternative music is so personal.
Totally.
So it's like, how am I gonna feature somebody on a song I'm talking about, like a sex addiction on or whatever? Like, you got a sex addiction too, man?
Yeah,
like,
I got
you
this
know,
song
what's
about
up?
sex addiction. You got any?
Yeah,
got a verse? And it's like,
you
nah,
too?
man.
Oh, fuck. You know, no therapy either, huh? Like, it's just like, it's tough. It's tough. It's a tough line to like walk. But
I'm just leaving second. I'm leaving like first or like a second verse open.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing right now.
Dude,
just like,
that's smart.
I'm just writing the first verse, and then I got a second one. Then I'll send it.
do that too, and I love that because you're right. There's only benefit out of it.
Yeah,
there's no negative.
Yeah,
you're just cross pollinating. You know, all these fans that probably don't know each other.
Definitely, yeah.
Probably don't know each other.
Yeah, especially if the feature's like out there enough. Yeah, you know, like for sure.
Totally. And I also respect. I'm not trying to hate on pop or hip hop or anything. All right, what do we got? Are we out of time?
What time is it? It's 10 o'clock right now. Okay.
Okay. Well,
they're not kicking us out, but okay, yeah. Let's just we could wrap it up. We've been going for like 47 minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I feel good about that.
Hopefully,
does anybody have anything to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. This is awesome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're just excited.
I can't wait to catch your set.
Happy, yeah. Please, man,
yeah,
come.
We'll be there.
I would fucking love for you to see it, and just happy to see you. And
yeah, man,
you're good people. And
thanks, man.
I really appreciate the opportunity, and also just to Tree Fort too. Whoever's Tree Fort is watching.
Shout to Tree Fort.
Yeah, like
I do love this festival.
It's awesome. It's just so cool to be here and do this, and like I'm just. My whole mentality the last like year, 2 years has changed to just being like thankful.
Yeah.
Just be fucking thankful, man. Like you're awake, you're alive, you're fucking I got 4 limbs, like I can walk, I can speak properly. It's just like fuck, dude, we take so much for granted that I'm just thankful. That's my final message.
That's always my advice to young bands too, is like, dude, they're like, how do you get on these support tours? Be a good hang.
Yes.
If you're around that band, just be a good hang, and they'll invite you for like a month out or whatever. It's like it's that easy.
And enjoy the fucking process.
And just enjoy it.
Like
meet some friends. Like
those
don't
rooms
think
are
of
the
it
best,
as like
man.
I'm gonna be nice to this guy after I'm nice to him, and I can slither my way up to this. It's like that's fucked up. Once you start thinking like that, you're gonna make mistakes because now you're overthinking shit. It's like, dude, just be cool, just be a hang. And then you'll hang on tour.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If that's what you want, you know?
Yeah, just appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot who it was, but at Lala, they had played, I want to say right before us or right after. It had to be right before us. God, what's their name? It's this all-girl rock band, but anyways, they had been like doing it for a while, and they were just like, they're up there, and I remember hearing the lead vocalist say like, I just want to say to anybody who's a young artist out there, appreciate the process because like, we still remember, and honestly, some of our funnest times were in those 200, 150, 100 cap rooms.
Yeah.
Those are magical moments that you're just that are gonna fly by.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of life, you know. And like, I think, just being thankful, dude. Like, I'm so fucking thankful. Trying to take care of myself. This guy's a good influence. Nice. He's like he's like a mini David Goggins over here.
We love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like surround yourself with good people.
Absolutely.
And be thankful. That's my final statement because I just don't know how the fuck I'm here.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time. I'm just like, how am I here? How am I here like with a band playing a fucking show at 10:30 in a 2,000, 1,500 cap room?
Right.
Like that'll be sold out.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's fucking insane. You know?
It's gonna be
like,
great, man.
What made me so fucking special? Best to be thankful.
Bless. Okay. Where can people find you? Let them know where they can find you.
And party.
And party.
And have a good time. That's part of being thankful. I'm BabyJake, and you can find me anywhere as BabyJake or It's BabyJake. And yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah. All right, let's cut.